Once again, we're back.
In person for the final Central Podcast Entertainment episode of 2016. So let's get started. Oh wait, what am I saying? We gotta introduce ourselves. I'm Neo Spokesman. He's MCP, and we're about to start talking about the best and the worst matches for 2016 World Wrestling Entertainment. So let's get started.
And we'll and in this 2016 in general, we'll incorporate that into. So, but first we'll talk about best and worst matches in WWE of this year. Should we start with best or worst?
Let's start with worst. Let's talk about that Reigns Triple H match that we had from that video from What Culture.
All right. Well, I wouldn't. Well, they said it was like, was it number one worst match or was
no?
It
it's number two. It's number two.
That I really disagree with. I wouldn't say it was bad. Like, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't worse to that point where you put it on number two of worst matches. You know, it did what it needed to do. Like, it had Reigns beat Triple H. You know, it made a new star out of Reigns. I mean, I think he was pretty much basing it based on like how the fans react to Reigns. But like in my mind, like Reigns is not terrible. He's not that bad. Like especially with this build up with Triple H. Like I thought it was perfect. The way they had him lose at the Royal Rumble, lose the WWE title to Triple H in the Royal Rumble match, then build up all the way to have Reigns beat Brock and Ambrose in that triple threat match at Fastlane, then go on to WrestleMania, do that whole build up with Triple H, and then have Reigns win. I mean, like I know they say it was worse because it was predictable, it was inevitable. Well, of course it was. Reigns is that guy.
Well, okay. Well, let me throw my 2 cents on this one.
It doesn't suck if it makes sense.
True.
And it made sense at this point to have Reigns and Triple H main event Mania. Like Reigns was in the main event at Mania and he lost. And he lost to Seth Rollins when he cashed in Money in the Bank.
Well, let me put my 2 cents on this one. Well, okay, the Roman Reigns we had back in 2015 were, I believe at the end of TLC or something, or whichever pay-per-view it was, he speared the hell out of Triple H, and it's like, oh man, this is getting intense. I'm actually wanting to see Reigns get in the ring with Triple H, and then following the Royal Rumble, which was good with Triple H eliminating Roman Reigns, in which, as we did not plan it to, where hey, Triple H is actually the face and Roman Reigns is the heel. Well, Reigns, yes, he is a good guy, but the way he's been pushed and developed makes him turn out to not be as good as we think he should be. And going on to the match at WrestleMania, I still remember I was kind of half asleep. Like I tried to keep myself awake, but there's nothing.
Well, it's only because they made it 5 hours.
More.
They made it more than what they made the show longer than it needed to.
Yes, that's true. But if it was a shorter show, if it was an actual 4-hour show, I'd probably be looking at my phone because although the entrances were cool, Triple H's entrance with Corrupt Corporation and Roman Reigns just fist fireworks, all that shebang. But once they got in the ring,
I wouldn't say it was an amazing WrestleMania main event or
the
greatest WrestleMania main event. It wasn't that by the longest shot, but it was at least decent. It was at least good. And the spot where Reigns spears Stephanie, Stephanie finally got her up and comings and actually got speared.
Uh-huh.
It's something we haven't. It's not a WrestleMania moment, like a great WrestleMania moment, but it was good, but it got a legit reaction. It actually got people out of their seats.
But commentators would say that's a WrestleMania moment right there.
Well, of course it's commentators, but to me it's not an amazing WrestleMania moment like Hogan slamming Andre. Like not even in that category.
No.
But it got a legit reaction and it got people into the match.
Yeah, but once Roman Reigns speared Triple H, or Stephanie. Yeah, the people got a reaction, but then slowly soon turned back on Reigns.
Oh, well, the fan, that's what I don't like. It's just, the fans just, ruin a lot of it, to be honest.
I
understand Reigns is not, he wasn't the most proper build guy, but who is? What current star is the most proper build guy? Maybe you could say AJ Styles from this year, but But other than that, who else is properly billed this year? Currently, that's on the current roster.
Oh yeah, speaking of, well, I'll mention that later. But like, well, actually, I'll maybe make a quick mention of it. But like, from SmackDown, the commentators mentioned that AJ Styles actually has the best year in WWE ever.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing I could agree with commentators saying that because honestly, AJ Styles is definitely in my mind he was superstar of the year this year.
I know, but let's do a small comparison. I know we're gonna have to talk, but let's do a small comparison between Brock Lesnar's first year and AJ Styles' first year. AJ Styles came in Royal Rumble, lasted a like good 20 minutes, then got eliminated. Brock Lesnar came in after WrestleMania 18. Took out, wait, I forgot who he took out, but I know
He took out like all the hardcore guys, like Spike Dudley. I think Crash was there, or some Crash Holly. I think was there, or a few hardcore guys were there. Maybe Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, the night after WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
Then going back to Styles over the next few months, he loses to Jericho at WrestleMania, then follows up a month or two later, going against Roman Reigns twice for the World Championship, lost those. Well, with Lesnar, he just kept pretty much dominating everyone in his path, from Hurricane to Hogan to Taker to Flair. It wasn't until SummerSlam he finally won the big one. Following back with Styles, we go to Money in the Bank, where he beats John Cena in a dirty fashion, which we didn't need to see, but oh well. But moving on to SummerSlam, which was the greatest match of the year, which we say so. Cena gets a clean loss from Styles, which we clearly needed to cement some type of indication that this is a new era. And then a month later, he wins the championship. So your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there really is no comparison with him and Brock's first year. But like, comparing these two, I mean, Brock definitely had the better year. But not to say Styles didn't have a great year this year. He definitely did, and he's definitely 20 superstar of this year of 2016, because he entered the Royal Rumble, like everybody was shocked. I was shocked. Well, I mean,
in a good way. We were
like entirely shocked because there was kind of rumors and speculation that it was going to happen, that he was going to appear, and obviously they were true. But then he. And then they speed bumped him.
Yes.
Speed bumped him like in that rivalry with Jericho, which they really should have waited until WrestleMania to have that one match, that dream match. And I was dying for it, but then they just rushed into it the next night after the Royal Rumble.
I wouldn't necessarily call Styles versus Jericho a dream match, because although yes, Jericho's good on the mic, he's got some good he's a good in-ring worker, but it's not the equivalent of like a Shawn Michaels or a Seth Rollins, or maybe even, I'll just stay on those two for now, or even a Kurt Angle. But sure,
no, but it was like it wasn't like a big dream match.
What, like Michaels versus Jericho at 19?
Yeah, but at the same time, you wonder how these two guys would be in the ring, like together, and we wanted to at least get that at WrestleMania. We did, but it was like the fourth of their match, which was ridiculous. They should have waited until WrestleMania, but they instead of do 3 matches, one on Raw the next night of the Royal Rumble, and then I think one on a SmackDown, which Jericho I think won.
Then there was one for Fastlane.
Then Fastlane, Styles makes Jericho tap. Then Jericho gets his win at WrestleMania.
Well, just to say about that, I kind of wonder what could have done to make a storyline out of those two without them even touching. And secondly, I wouldn't find if that match happened on Raw, and then we got a Jericho Styles match at Fastlane, and then to end this rivalry, we do it one more time. I would have taken that too.
I don't know, because I feel like WrestleMania matches WrestleMania big rivalries or matches should be they were rivalries since last summer or they started last fall, something like that.
A long build,
that.
Basically.
Yeah, a long build. At least that's how I would see it.
Hey, I don't blame you.
But and I was okay with Jericho beating Styles at WrestleMania. I was not too thrilled, but I was okay with it, because at least you gotta at least have Jericho win at WrestleMania. He hasn't won at WrestleMania since
26.
26, since
Who he should
2010.
even though he shouldn't have won that either.
Yeah, even though he shouldn't
Yeah.
have won that. But at the same time, you come back the next night after WrestleMania, and then you make Styles the number one contender, which it really baffled me, because it's like that loss at WrestleMania meant nothing to Styles, because he just came back the next night and is now number one contender for the world title. That's just confusing.
That was pretty much rushed right there. Like we did not need that at all, none whatsoever. But going back to worst matches, I guess let's go to WrestleMania with with Ambrose versus Lesnar, as we partially mentioned from that video of What Culture. Like this was kind of, I don't want to say perfectly, but it was just right there. You had a few weeks to build up to the storyline. Ambrose going against Lesnar. How will this chemistry work out? Ambrose had a plan for how this match could be turned into almost a classic, but when the match happened, Brock scrapped all of it. Like, no, we're not doing this. We're just gonna have a regular match. It's gonna toss you around.
And the build was amazing. Was not amazing, but it was good. It was like good to the point where I was really interested to see what was gonna happen between those two.
I'm gonna guess you were figuratively salivating at the mouth.
I wasn't to that point, but I was really interested. I was really looking forward to this match at this street fight, because I was wondering, like, these guys are going to kill each other. But then the match happened, and I ended up
being disappointed.
I ended up so disappointed that I felt like turning off WrestleMania. It got my expectations so high that it just disappointed the hell out of me. I was like, well, if this, like, I'm not really looking forward to that much on the card. Like, maybe the Hell in a Cell and maybe the WWE title match. But this was like the most I anticipated.
And plus, with Mick Foley and Terry Funk coming in, bringing in the chainsaw and and Barbara. Wait, her name is
Barbie.
Barbie, not the doll, but yes, bringing in Barbie. That definitely gave some nostalgia. Like, come on, we kind of know. Okay, Ramos is gonna do some major dance with Lesnar. We're gonna get some bleeding me from both these guys, since usually in a Lesnar match.
And that's just what WWE does. All they do is tease. All they do is tease. They bring in the chainsaw and barbed wire, and you expect them to have them use the chainsaw and barbed wire, but none of that was used during the match.
But don't forget. Also, well,
all it was just a tease. You know what that's like? That's like ordering a That's like ordering a bacon cheeseburger. But you only get the buns. You don't get the bacon. You don't get the burger itself. You don't get the cheese. You don't get any of that. All you get is the buns. That's pretty much what that is. That's pretty much the perfect comparison to what that was.
It's just empty.
It really was.
I don't get it. No, but okay. I'll just talk about this. Like, well, great. My mom just wandered, but on to another terrible match. Well, I guess talk about Charlotte versus Natalya for a bit. No, wait, we already mentioned that already. Did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
You just brought it up. So that was at Payback. That was actually the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Yeah.
Or was it? I thought it was Extreme Rules.
No, they switched it. They made Payback the main event after the pay-per-view.
The main event? You mean the pay-per-view?
Yeah, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, and then Extreme Rules the following month.
Okay.
Which actually it makes perfect sense, because like WrestleMania and then Payback for WrestleMania.
Yeah, just like what they did with Backlash.
Yeah, I think they should do that every year now. But yeah, Charlotte and Natalya, that event at Payback. Oh my God, you talk. God.
Take your time, Mike. Take your time.
They just couldn't help themselves.
He had to screw over.
They knew Bret Hart was there, that he was going to be in Natalya's corner. So, of course, they had to do the whole screw job finish. They just could not help themselves.
Oh, hey, oh, yeah.
It's like Vince was it's like Vince was like strapped to a chair, like, and Triple H like put him there to prevent him from doing it. Then Vince somehow got loose and made finish the screw job.
Or even to be like, oh, hey, meanwhile, in creative, okay, guys, Payback's coming up. We're doing Charlotte versus Natalia for the Women's Championship. What's going to be the finish?
Okay. And the point of even having Charlotte versus Natalia after at WrestleMania, they had that great women's match, the triple threat women's title match
with Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky.
With Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky, which I thought was going to be really good, and
it was.
And for the most part, the match itself was really good
until the finish got stupid.
And then, but then in the ending, you had no Snoop Dogg when he clearly was there.
Yes, grabbed Sasha Banks' leg
when he clearly was there. Like escorting Sasha to the ring, and you have Flair. When Flair interfered, I was like, "Where's Snoop? Get Snoop in there!" No Snoop, except you have Becky, like, or somebody.
No.
One of the women were attacking. Flair.
No. The Sasha, no. Wait, Charlotte was attacking Becky and put her in submission and made her tap.
No, but like when Flair interfered, I forgot somebody attacked Flair. It wasn't Snoop. I was like waiting for Snoop. I'm like, "Where's Snoop? Get him!" Get Flair and have them throw down at each other. No Snoop. I think Becky attacked Ric Flair in the match.
Ugh.
What
is that all about?
Like, you had him there! Why couldn't he do anything? Like, where was he?
It makes perfect sense for Snoop Dogg to come down and take out Flair. So, hey, Sasha comes in, boom.
And then of course, you can't have Sasha Banks win, so you have to have Charlotte be the women's champion at the end of that match, which was stupid.
Like, we did not need that. It was Sasha's time.
The match was going so good, and of course, it's always the finish that always screws up the entire match.
And plus,
then you just come right back the next night, and then immediately, like, not have Sasha Banks go after Charlotte, and not have Becky go after Charlotte. Instead, you put Natalia in there to rival with Charlotte.
How does this make any sense at all? We're gonna because Sasha didn't want to face Charlotte right now. Like, I need to take a break. Okay, Natalia, you go in. Wait, what? That doesn't make no sense.
Where did Natalia even come from?
Where's the continuity?
I don't understand. And then you had the whole rivalry with Charlotte and Natalia, like the whole screw job at Payback, and then what was the next pay? Extreme Rules after that. I think they had a submission match, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, Charlotte and Natalia?
Charlotte and Natalia, like,
I believe so. Maybe.
And then like the whole thing where Ric Flair couldn't interfere, and then
that's fine.
And then you had Dana. You introduced Dana Brooke as Charlotte's protege, I guess, and then that whole thing.
We didn't need that.
No,
it was just ridiculous.
That whole thing. It just let us know that and I guess not at that point. I guess it was SummerSlam. It kind of let us know that, like, they really are, like, really, like, giving Charlotte that, like, force push.
But wait, what just brought up to mind? Did you hear? No, wait, this was on Raw, but Biggie made a mention of Charlotte, saying that, the New Day made a mention of Charlotte with her being the women's champion. Like, she's probably going to be a 16-time world champion, just like her father. This probably took a month for that to happen. Just going to toss the women's championship back and forth. I believe Biggie got a little bit of negativity from that comment on Twitter. I meant from Raw.
From who? Who's giving him negative comments?
I can't remember.
Was this like on Twitter? He wrote.
No. Biggie mentioned that on Raw, live television. That kind of dissing Charlotte in a sense, like, she's winning the women's championship so many times, it's probably gonna take like a month for her to become 16-time world champion.
Well, all I gotta say to that is rest in peace, Biggie. You might have gotten something, but you'll end up being buried after that.
Well, it's not like it's not like Charlotte.
Rest in peace, Biggie. We glad we knew you.
Well, at least Charlotte can't turn into a man and take out Big E.
Oh well, with how she is, I think she could definitely do that.
I don't even want to go into that. I would not want.
But okay. I guess so. best. So I guess back to AJ Styles, since he was one of the most talked about. So he has this whole rivalry with Roman Reigns for the WWE World Title, which actually wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad rivalry, and the matches they've had weren't bad. They were actually really good. They had really good chemistry.
The first
with each
match
other.
I say was better than the second one.
Well,
then again, I might be confused because I need to see them back to back.
Yeah, I can't remember which one was better, but I think equally they were both good.
Well, hey, at least we got Rollins returning after the second match, which we all popped and marked out for.
Yeah, and then we really wondered what was gonna happen next with AJ Styles because he had his world title shot, and then he lost on 2 pay-per-views in a row to Reigns. And then the thing that frightened me the most, Cena comes back, and then as soon as I heard AJ Styles music, I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Isn't it? Yeah.
They've already had him lose at WrestleMania, then the 2 pay-per-views to Roman Reigns. I'm like, oh no.
Isn't it funny how things turn out?
Yeah, it's really funny though, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, that whole time I'm scared to death. I'm like, oh no. Well, I think this is it.
Well, don't forget
it was nice. I had a good hope going, but looks like that's gonna get crushed
But don't
again.
forget Styles' comments after that, before the match, saying, "Hey, everyone that knows this place, know that once you wrestle John Cena and lose, it's time to get out the shovels because guys like you bury guys like me." And Cena had no comment after that. Come on, this was the chance to address one of the most common and annoying things to ever occur in the world of wrestling, and Cena had no response for that.
I don't know whether that was a shoot or they. I don't know if they allowed AJ Styles to say that.
You said it was probably a shoot because they wouldn't have allowed Styles to say that if it was.
I don't know.
Plus,
I don't know with the way the company's going now. I feel like they're taking a new direction, and I feel like they're allowing guys to say stuff like that.
But what if Cena actually said after Styles made that remark? Cena said because creative is in control and is allowing me to get these victories, so I have no say.
Well, why not? Why not? Kayfabe and Cena.
Wait, what's kayfabe have to do with this?
No, I'm saying. Well, then it might as well. Kayfabe is dead.
It's already been dead.
No, I'm saying you might as well since it's dead. But you say Cena has no say. Of course he does. He's the top guy. Of course all the top guys have says.
Yes, Styles may be the face that runs the place, but Cena refers it as he is the place.
So okay, they had their match at Money in the Bank. As soon as I saw they immediately go into Money in the Bank with them facing off with only 2 weeks, I was like, well, this isn't gonna be good. So I might as well strap in for the roller coaster. Then, so they had Styles Styles win dirty. They had the club just hit their tag team finishing move on Cena.
Before that, the match was actually pretty good though.
I wasn't really getting into it that much.
Strangely, even though this is the first encounter.
Yeah, I wasn't into it that much because I was just like, well, he's not gonna win clean here. I knew he wasn't gonna win clean here, or he was either gonna win dirty, win with interference, or win some dirty fashion, or Cena was gonna go over.
But didn't I say when we made predictions for Money in the Bank that Styles is gonna win? But you said it, but more or less Styles is gonna win dirty though.
At Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Yeah, I said Styles was gonna win dirty, or at least or Cena was gonna win just clean. Outlasting all the club members and beating Styles.
Yes, but it was surprising to see. Oh, Magic Killer 1, 2, 3. Wait, what?
Yeah, and that was the finish, which was stupid, and that already killed it for me. If it didn't kill me, if that match didn't kill me already, that did it.
That was that was out of character for Cena to not kick out of that. At least.
It was out of all the things you couldn't kick out of, you couldn't kick out of that.
You could kick out of a rock bottom, a tombstone, choke slams, spears.
You could kick out of all that, but oh no! When it comes to the club's Magic Killer, you can't even kick out. That's so stupid.
I'm
Was so stupid.
I'm allergic to magic. That would have been a dumb statement,
Oh,
right?
God. But then, and then I was kind of like, I was still scared because I was still like, well, he won dirty. Well, that means Cena will get his win back.
At SummerSlam.
And, I was scared that they were going to go right to Battleground and do the rematch, but luckily they didn't.
I forgot what they did. I only remember stuff.
Yeah, no, I remember it was Cena, Enzo, and Cass versus AJ and the Club.
Okay, and Cena won that one.
And Cena and Enzo and Cass won that one. I'm kind of like, okay, at least it's not 1-on-1. It's a 6-man tag. So, whatever. It's not that big. I guess it's not that big of a deal. So, and then SummerSlam happens. And now I'm like, okay, like this is put up or shut up time. Like Styles has to win clean. Like no interference, no BS, none of that.
Yes, happily no one interfered. The match was great from bell to bell, and
from top to bottom, I was getting interested. I was like, okay, this is going good. There's no Club at ringside. There's no Jon Stewart. There's no anybody.
Oh,
these guys are going at it.
Cena goes to top rope to do an actor adjustment. Oh, Styles' elbow and Styles' elbow and Cena. Hey, out the top rope. Oh no, cover 1, 2. Kicks. I'm like, oh, thank you. We were in so much relief.
Honestly, I actually thought that was it because there's I know people have kicked out of that before, but it's a very short list.
It's very
shorter list, obviously, than the actual
list of Jericho.
Shorter than the actual list of people that kicked out of AA because that's a very long list.
Pretty much so.
But then Styles finally hits the Styles Clash, phenomenal forearm, and the 1, 2, 3.
I thought Cena was going to counter the phenomenal for him, but happily he didn't, and it was just a clean win for Styles.
And and I couldn't have been more happy.
And it was at that moment.
It completely satisfied that match. I was, and it was completely shocking too, like how this guy was like the face of TNA for 12 years of his career. He was in that role.
And WWE was willing to put a TNA guy over
their WWE guy, over their WWE guy for the past
decade.
Yeah, for over 14 years now. It'll be 15 this coming year.
Well, but it won't be 15 years of being the face that runs being the face of the company.
Well, no, it'll be 12.
Yes, but next year will be 15 years of Cena. Oh boy.
Yep.
Can't wait for that T-shirt.
Or T-shirt with that.
Or the 16-time world champion T-shirt, which we'll talk about, I guess, later down the road.
Yeah.
For Rumble predictions.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So I guess any other great matches you want we can recall back from this year so far?
Well, I mean, there was Shane and Undertaker. The build was
The
build was okay. It was kind of like they did the whole lockbox thing, and they never mentioned it after that.
Well, wait, we're gonna go all the way to the beginning first. First, not Shane. First, Vince and Stephanie come out introducing this Legacy Award, which, okay, we'll give it to Steph.
Well, it was Vince and Stephanie.
Yes, we're going to give the award to Steph anyway. Shane comes out. Everyone marks the heck out. So did we, even though I kind of smelled you. Sorry about that.
Well, only a little bit. I actually, when I watched it, forgot that you spoiled it. I was still in the moment.
Yes.
And I was still shocked.
So did I. Like, wait. Shane was Taker in house. So I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound like an actual match that I actually do when I saw. Wait, what? Oh man.
But then, as soon as you said that, here comes the money.
7 years. It's been so long. The crowd reacted like he never left. Shane went in there and took out Steph and Vince just like that with so much dissing. Like, I got this lockbox and
he mentions the lockbox, and then after the build up, no follow up, no mention of it, and they've never mentioned it ever since.
And there was not much reason for why is Taker facing Shane McMahon, because Vince says Taker is my ultimate instrument of destruction, and he's gonna face Shane anyway.
Well, Then we get to the actual Hell in a Cell match.
But don't forget, one of the things Vince should have been a part of that match. Special guest referee, interfere, something.
I know. Like when Taker and Shane weren't there, he was the one like doing all the build up.
Basically, the Paul Heyman of the Roman Reigns versus Lesnar match at 31.
Well, except Roman Reigns was there every week. Brock was not.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman was just there to fill in for Brock, but Roman Reigns was still there. But this is different because both guys that were wrestling weren't there at times.
Wait, and remember, and not recall, and remind me, or correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Taker on one week and Shane on another, just like we're doing right now with Goldberg, like we did with Goldberg and Lesnar? Like, come on.
Maybe. Well, I think there were times where they didn't, where Shane was on one week, Taker was on another, or both of them were on, or both of them weren't there, and Vince had to do all the talking.
Yeah, that's not how they did it 15 years ago. I'm sure there was a much better concept. Well, I forgot how they did it.
I don't know either, but
it was a much better way of how they do it now.
But anyways, you get to the Hell in a Cell match, and because it's Taker and Shane, and it's Hell in a Cell, like I was going to be interested in it, and I was going to see what they were going to do.
Although the match was slow, well, not just because of the Undertaker, because he takes his time when he's wrestling, but
yeah. And plus, it wasn't that exciting, because it would be more exciting if the streak was on the line, but because it wasn't, and Taker really didn't have anything to lose in this match. It didn't make it that. It didn't make it that. Or wait, did he have something to lose? Oh yeah, that's right. No, he did, because I think his career was on the line.
Yeah, he said, yeah, this is the last time Undertaker wrestles at WrestleMania. He didn't say his career was over.
Oh, he said
that was kind of ridiculous.
Okay, then he did in a way have something to lose.
Technically, because Mr. Graham messed it up.
And it was and they put himself in a lose-lose situation, because we wanted Shane to get control if he won, and at the same time, we didn't want Taker to like go away from WrestleMania forever.
Yeah. But hey, the only thing to take away from this match is, hey, oh, we got a coast to coast. Taker kicks out. Then wait, they're going outside.
Then we get we would say spot of the year,
or just moment of the year.
Or I guess, yeah, OMG moment of the year.
So. Shane McMahon, at 46, comes out with his kids, watching at ringside, seeing the 46-year-old guy take one huge leap of faith off the cell with Shane, and get out of the way, like, oh my gee.
I honestly didn't think it would happen. I honestly didn't think he would do it, but goddamn, man, much respect for him for doing that.
No, well, yes, much more respect, because he's already done crazy stuff already. Like a Backlash 2001.
Not that I never had respect for that.
No,
I've always had respect. I've always had respect for what he's done, but like for him to just continue to do that, especially
at the age he's at now,
especially at 46, like, and especially with his kids watching, like I wonder what his kids was thinking while he was doing this.
I can only wonder. Hold on, continue without me.
So you get, the whole thing with Shane falling off the cell. It was an amazing moment. I was shocked as hell that he even did that. I remember screaming in my dorm saying, "Oh my!" Like I was saying, "Holy shit!" Like loud, and I didn't care. I didn't care about other people like next door like hearing me scream. I was gonna yell because it was an amazing moment.
Wait, you're still talking about the diving spot with Shane?
Yeah, I was just saying like how like I screamed, like I couldn't control myself. I yelled, "Holy shit!" while I was in my dorm.
No. For me, well, all I remember is that Shane was climbing up over the cell. Like I was just getting nervous, nervous and excited. Like, oh no, is he gonna do it? Yes, he's gonna do it. But oh man, I'm just not ready for this. Shane's gonna dive off, and then boom, crash. I didn't expect Taker to move out of the way though, because if he didn't, more or less that would have been the end. Like yeah, or just knockout or double count out. That's probably what would have happened.
But then Taker hits a tombstone, and that was it. I was kind of like, it was okay. The spot, that's going to be, oh my god, moment of the year, or holy shit, moment of the year.
Although they did not do this, there was no Slammies this year, but oh well.
Well, I think they're actually going to do it in January.
Okay, then. I'll take that, but
yeah. I was surprised they didn't do a Slammy for December.
It's pretty much so, but nah.
But then But it could have been all good until the next night on Raw,
You,
when the stipulation that if Shane won, he would gain control of Raw.
but if he
But
lost,
but if he lost, he wouldn't, and he lost. But yet, when Shane comes out and interrupts Vince and thanks the fans for everything,
Taker was the better man.
I forgot what Vince.
I still remember.
decided.
I still remember. Hey, you're not gonna outstage me. Just to
Oh,
prove my
right.
point, you're gonna be in charge for the night.
That was such a stupid excuse to even do. If you were gonna do that, that was a stupid excuse for Vince to even do that. That made Vince look like an idiot.
Idiot. God.
God, idiot. In the words of Napoleon Dynamite. It made him look like a complete idiot. And that's not how the Vince McMahon character. That totally almost ruined Vince McMahon's whole character. He's supposed to be ruthless and everything, and you wouldn't let that guy gain control, but you let him get control of Raw, even though he lost the match. And if he lost the match, he wouldn't gain control of Raw. That doesn't make any sense.
Yet you give him control anyway. For weeks.
And then even later on, while Shane's in control, Stephanie wants control, and then Vince has them both run Raw until they do the whole draft. Until they decided to do the whole draft where Shane would be commissioner of SmackDown and Stephanie would be commissioner of Raw.
Well, I guess we can swerve off to that now. Let's talk about the draft and what our thoughts with that coming back. Well, at first, no, I'll say, I welcome the draft, not with full open arms, but hey, at least we get more time for different wrestlers and characters. Now with them being split between Raw and SmackDown, it was an interesting concept to come back after a 5-year absence. How about you?
I wasn't too fan of it at first. I was kind of like, well, but I was just curious to see where they were gonna go with it and how they were gonna go about it. So they had the draft. They announced. First of all, Stephanie announces Mick Foley as the Raw General Manager, which didn't make any sense because she's supposed to be a heel. Why would she choose a crowd favorite like Mick Foley to run Monday Night Raw when she's supposed to be a heel?
2003.
What about 2003?
Stone Cold and Eric Bischoff.
Bischoff didn't make that decision. Linda McMahon did. For storyline wise, yeah, she made that decision.
Maybe Vince told Stephanie to make the arrangements.
Okay, but they didn't say anything about that. They didn't say anything about that. They didn't mention anything about that. They didn't say Stephanie McMahon didn't say, "Oh, Vince told me to hire him as general manager." Nothing was said. Nothing was mentioned. But you have Stephanie say that Mick Foley is great. He's gonna run Raw. But she's supposed to be a heel, but yet she's trying to please the crowd. It's totally ass backwards. But of course, then you have Daniel Bryan announced as SmackDown General Manager. Let's backtrack a little bit of some of the stuff from since we're talking about 2016, the recent announcement earlier in that year, in February that Daniel Bryan had to retire, and it was inevitable. It was. I saw it coming because there was no way they were going to let him back after they have him be the WWE champion after 30, only to vacate it because of the injury or concussion. And then the next year win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 31, only to vacate that due to injury again.
Yeah, but there's a deeper reason why WWE won't allow Daniel Bryan to come back to wrestle.
And that is?
Well, I found out from Solid Monster. Yes, shout out Solid Monster for this one. For his latest podcast episode 475. Definitely recommend checking that out. But he mentioned that for Daniel Bryan, he had, I guess, with convincing him to tell WWE that he had been having a number of seizures a number of years back. Well, of course, along with the concussions as well. And once WWE found out, they knew for sure, yeah, we're not going to risk this guy getting any type of seizure or anything like that ever again. So
I think I did hear about that actually. I think I did.
But that must have been a while ago, though.
But I mean, yeah, you don't want to risk that. So
even just for one more match, although Hey, I would have said yay. One more match, give it a go.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a big risk of seizures, and you don't want a seizure in the middle of the ring.
What about Kurt? What about Kurt Angle?
What do you mean?
He's had some neck stuff.
Yeah, but he never had like dangers or he never had like possibilities of having seizures.
True. I'm sure.
I don't know how. I don't know how he didn't have risk of seizures.
I'm sure Benoit. I'm sure Benoit did at least once or twice.
Have seizures, maybe, but like not in the ring.
I know. Well, no, I don't think they mentioned seizures in the ring, but they did mention Daniel Bryan having seizures, though.
Nah, but he was in the possibility or in that realm.
Pretty much so.
A possibility, but yeah, it was. It was it really disappointed me too because he's still like he's 34 years old and he had
I think he's 35 now
or 35 around.
We're losing track. I know.
I think he is 35 now. Yeah, I think he is. But yeah, he's 35 now, and he had to give up his dream, which it's such a young age that you gotta retire.
And it's even.
But at this, but it definitely it definitely should like learn a lesson for those guys that like make up for not cutting a promo just to do flips and crazy stunts like that. It should learn a lesson. Like you keep doing that stuff for years, you're gonna end up really hurt and you're gonna have to retire early.
Yes, I know. And
just like Daniel Bryan, you can't be doing that stuff all the time. You gotta cut a promo. You gotta limit yourself.
Yep, and two things to follow up that, or at least just one, but I forgot where, I believe from Don Tony and Kevin Castle, that Harley Race regrets creating the diving headbutt maneuver, which more wrestlers use today, will use less, but used years after Harley Race had wrestled. And secondly, speaking of that,
yeah, maybe he said that too because of Benoit, because he used it.
Yeah, but following that up with the promo that the Miz cut on Daniel Bryan. Hey, you wrestle extreme. If you want to wrestle again, I also go into the bingo halls in the indie scene while still wrestle my safe, soft wrestling style and wrestle for years. Which leads to that whole debate.
Yeah, I mean, it still does because Daniel Bryan didn't say anything. Like Miz had a point. He had a point, and Miz had injuries. He had concussions, but it wasn't
I don't remember that.
He's had concussions before.
What year?
I think like 2012 or 2012. I think he had some earlier in his career too, but he's had concussions. Not to the point, not to like a bad point, but he's had minor concussions.
I don't remember that, but okay then.
But yeah, what were we talking? Yeah, so Shane McMahon, back to the draft. They hire Shane McMahon has Daniel Bryan be the general manager of SmackDown. You have the whole draft itself. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't really remember that much. Who were like top drafts. I think Seth Rollins was the first choice
for Raw, and Dean Ambrose was the first choice for SmackDown, I believe, or one of. But like, it was upsetting to see Cesaro and Sami Zayn go to Raw, where they'll continue to be misused and pushed incorrectly. Although now Cesaro is world tag team champion, and with Sheamus, well, I guess we can talk about how that happened later. But like, and with Sami Zayn, not necessarily in the best position, but yeah, he would be far off better on SmackDown.
Probably,
especially with that tease. Well, I don't think you know this, but Sami Zayn. Well, I believe I mentioned this to you, Mike. That Mick Foley said, "Okay, I'll call Dan Bryan to talk about."
I know that whole.
Yes,
that whole
like they were saying, that he teased him. Like I that's the Sami Zayn I wanted to see. I wanted to get you motivated. You can just like no. Sami Zayn wants out of here, so bring him on to SmackDown, where he'll probably be given a good storyline with somebody and make it look compelling and interesting.
But yeah, like they had the whole draft. They bring in Finn Balor for Raw. They draft like Enzo. I think Enzo and Cass went to Raw.
So it as well.
Styles went to SmackDown. Cena went to SmackDown.
Random went to SmackDown as well, and we were a bit concerned, like, oh no, they're gonna do Cena versus Orton again. No, they learned their lesson from Bragging Rights 2009.
They had Brock go to Raw. I'm surprised they draft even the part-time part-timers like Brock, even though he doesn't show up as much.
But of course, you already knew that. We already knew that as they can that from the start. Yeah, Raw is the flagship show. Of course, they'd get all the good best superstars and start and have all that star power, but not really use them correctly, if not for the most part.
Like what they always do. But yeah, then they rush after the whole draft happened. Then they start. Well, after Battleground, actually, I think that's when they started doing like Raw and SmackDown being separate.
Well, it wasn't until this fall, okay, September the 11th, that we've got our first draft SmackDown related pay per view, and same for Raw.
Yeah, because after that, after Battleground, then they started doing like building up for SummerSlam, which was both Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, then they had they introduced the Universal title. They have Finn Balor and Seth Rollins fight for it. Even though Finn Balor had like no build up, he was thrust right into the main event, and barely anybody in the crowd knew who he was.
Even though more than 1 million people have the WWE Network, but okay then.
Yeah, but some of them don't. A lot of them don't watch NXT. They're not familiar with NXT.
Oh well, then, but like, they should have shown a sneak peek of the belt before they actually unveiled it at SummerSlam, to prevent all those boos and negative chants from taking place. Since
like they don't understand is like the crowd that know Finn Balor and then our fans are Finn Balor are only a minority portion of the crowd. They're not the whole piece. They're not the whole pie.
Yes, although it stinks that WWE fans today revolve around casual fans, barely any hardcore fans.
Well, because realistically, and this is the truth, casual fans are the majority. They're the people who bring in the most money. It's not the hardcore fans.
And it's a shame that's always been the case, or was that
it's always been.
Even going back to the Hogan era?
Well, Hogan era, like almost everybody were WWE fans.
Yes, everyone was a Hogan fan, so you can't necessarily say, "Oh, we're all casual fans." But
it kind of casual fans, hardcore fans, kind of became a thing when when PG era was happening, when WWE was kind of starting to lose fans, and hardcore fans kind of became casuals. It wasn't always like that. Like when wrestling was hot, it was hot. Everybody was watching it.
So more hardcore and less casual, or still mainly?
Well, obviously, it's more hardcore fans than anything.
Pretty much so, because everyone knew who Stone Cold was. Everyone knew who The Rock was. Everyone knew who Goldberg and Sting was. So.
Yeah, everyone knows who The Rock is. Well, obviously now, because he's the biggest star in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who. Whether people like him or not, everybody knows who John Cena is. Everybody knows who Triple H is. Everybody knows who Undertaker is. When you bring up a name like Finn Balor or Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens, people are going to be like,
who?
Exactly.
Unless they don't watch WWE currently, then of course they'll be saying who.
But even at that, they'll but hardcore fans like idolize like guys like Finn Balor and Nakamura and Sami Zayn, but casual fans, if they watch them, they're like, they realistically, like, to them, they don't see them as stars because there's nothing that appeals to them.
Well, that's not until you actually see them in action. You can't just say a name and
even if they watch it, it doesn't appeal to them. They're like, oh well, this is kind of like mid-Carter stuff. Why are they going for the world titles?
Well, when I first saw this is just me, but when I first saw Kevin Owens, yes, he was awesome. Seeing his mix of power and high-flying moves, he definitely had the potential to be something great. In which now he's our Universal Champion, WWE Universal Champion. Neville should have been higher on the card. Should have been booked better. Zayn, well, still mainly mid-Carter, but I'd say he hasn't. Well, let's just say Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble and actually becomes Universal Champion. it will seem a bit out of place, but hey, I won't complain that much about it.
That would be horrible if that was the case. Sami Zayn wins the Rumble and wins the Universal title. That just makes no sense at all. And it's unrealistic too. You look at a guy like Sami Zayn, do casuals really want to see a guy like that be like in the main event or in the main event picture?
And someone from management says, "But what about WrestleMania 12?"
That guy Sami Zayn, he lacks charisma. I mean, I hate to say it, but he doesn't have any charisma.
Or just not much.
None at all. He doesn't have any charisma. He has no mic skills. He has nothing. Oh, he's got the wrestling, but like that, again, that's not the only thing that matters.
Goldberg.
His wrestling does the work. His not wrestling, but his power and his like ability to be badass does the talking. There's certain guys that could do that, like badasses or monsters like that.
So Batista before 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, like Batista, like Brock. Brock wasn't the best talker, but
no, he was not.
But his power and his like monstrous abilities got him over.
What? No, what am I saying? Raven. Of course, he has good mic skills.
Raven. I mean, it's not an amazing mic skills,
but it's still good.
It's good, but it's not like charismatic or anything.
Okay, Sting. Well, Crow Sting.
It's mostly that like persona, I guess, of Sting. I don't know what I would say. It's just that like aura or that mystery of Sting that like gets people interested.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that in a way. That's what got him over.
True.
And he was over before he was Crow Sting.
I know.
He was Surfer Sting.
Although he spoke more then compared to when he became the Crow. But with Sami Zayn right now, getting back to him, I guess if he can develop
what's appealing of Sami Zayn now? Really nothing.
We'll go back to NXT. There was a number of reasons why you can get invested into Sami Zayn, besides being an awesome innovator and wrestler. But yeah, well, he's an underdog. But yeah, there needs to be some improvement of mic skills in order for him to be, I guess, maybe a future world champion.
I don't know. Maybe upper mid Carter somewhat.
Well, like Dolph Ziggler? No, wait, never mind. I'm not gonna compare him to that. I'm not gonna compare him to Dolph Ziggler. He's better than that.
Better than Dolph? Well, I'd say him and Dolph are in the same league.
Really?
Honestly, that's how I see it. And I'm also looking in the eyes of a casual fan too. All right, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on.
I don't.
So, what were we talking about? Were we talking about the draft, or were we talking about after
yes,
the draft?
we were talking about the draft still.
So, yeah, you get to SummerSlam. You have Brock. You have Brock and Orton, which was like I was fine with it because this is the first time these two were facing, like in a WWE ring. Well, I mean they wrestle in OVW, but this is the first time like actual like WWE ring that they were gonna fight like in the main event, and I was it kind of threw me off a little because there was like no build up. There was kind of barely any build up or a reason why these two were facing, and they didn't even mention it. They were just like, oh, by the way, by the way, just to let you know, forgot to tell you guys, Brock Lesnar and Orton are facing in the main event of SummerSlam. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, we're kind of telling you now.
16 years in the making. That's all it was about. Oh, this is the first time. Okay, this is like the first time in 16 years.
But at least they could. But like they could have at least said
had a storyline.
Yeah, at least had a storyline to at least like spark that.
Well, what could have been the storyline? What that Brock Lesnar wouldn't attack Orton,
or do something, or like Brock Lesnar or Paul Heyman or Paul and Brock come out and Paul goes praises Brock saying the conqueror, the defender, Brock Lesnar, he could beat anybody, like all that stuff, and then Orton comes out. They have a face to face,
or you can build up that. Oh, and yes, and Brock the conqueror of the Undertaker streak of WrestleMania. Orton comes out and says something like, "Well, I beat the Undertaker myself twice."
No, he had Cowboy Bob Orton with him.
I
too.
know, but still,
He had Cowboy Bob Orton
it
with
serves
him.
it serves as something.
I mean, I don't say it would do that, but something along the lines of like Orton coming out and confronting Brock and then like shit talking him, something like that. Or just RKO him out of nowhere and just go from there.
Wait, you mean like what they did with there's no way the Breeze is not gonna take an RKO from the Beast and then RKO is
or no, just be like, Paul Heyman just saw this like nobody could stop, nobody could take down the Beast, and then all of a sudden Orton
that would
something like that.
That would have been good selling for to start the rivalry.
I think because then it would have given like a shock value, and then it would have been like oh my god, like I did not expect that. Like that I think would have worked. That I think would have worked to build up and say, okay, now it's gonna be Brock and Orton at SummerSlam.
And then the match happened, and the only thing I remember is elbow, Orton gushing like.
And this was just a horrible SummerSlam main event because that's all Brock Lesnar did was suplex. Orton got like two. The only offense Orton had was the 2 RKOs that he put in the match. And then after that, it was F5. Orton kicked out of it. Then the elbows to the face, having Orton gush out blood. And even before that, Brock wasn't even suspended because of
enhancements.
Because of enhancements, yeah.
That's still ridiculous. Hey, if you're a partner in WWE, you're exempt from the drug rule.
I know, it's so stupid. That was so stupid.
These are people's lives here.
You could suspend Roman Reigns, who you build as your top guy.
Next top guy.
Yeah, as your next top guy. You could suspend him for taking Adderall, which I'm sure is doctor prescribed, so it's not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Eva Marie could get suspended. Del Rio could get suspended. Paige could get suspended. But if it's Brock Lesnar,
he's exempt
no. He's good to go. He's ready for SummerSlam. He's ready to beat Randy Orton, and elbow shoot elbow hit him in the head until he gushes blood out. Like that is so stupid.
So stupid. And then we had stop the match. Shane comes in, kind of blames Brock, pretty much confronts Brock Lesnar. Lesnar gives Shane an F5. Hopefully we see a follow-up to that match at WrestleMania, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Unless it's basically at the Rumble.
Hopefully. I mean, but that's unless,
Goldberg eliminates Brock, or Brock eliminates Goldberg. Like, it's going to be WrestleMania 20 again.
So just the transition into that. Good transition there. They'll transition into that. The announcement of Goldberg not being on the cover, but being in the new 2K17.
Being pre-order wrestler for 2K17. A few interviews later, then Goldberg finally comes out. Although you shouldn't have made the whole concept like, Goldberg's gonna be here tonight. Goldberg can keep Goldberg, and then Michael Cole comes out, the greatest WCW World Champion. Goldberg,
yeah. That was shocking to hear that they would have Michael Cole say the greatest WCW champion of all time.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan.
I wouldn't say great.
Okay,
Hulk Hogan.
Maybe not, but he may be one of the greats, but he's not the greatest.
No, he's one of the greatest WWE World Champions ever, but not WCW.
Sting.
Sure, Sting, yeah.
What about Sting? Or Lex Luger? You could Macho Man. He was also. He wasn't the greatest WCW champ.
Booker T.
Wouldn't say greatest, but he's definitely one of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying Goldberg isn't wasn't a great WCW champ. He's definitely one of the greatest. He's in that category.
But say the greatest is a big stretch.
Other than Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes, come on.
But hey, Goldberg makes his...
But you know what? I wasn't too mad about it, because I was like, hey, you know what? It's Goldberg. They kind of screwed up with him saying the greatest, but you know what? I'll let
Hey,
it slide. I'm not too
Goldberg,
mad.
fans going crazy, chanting Goldberg as if he never left. Getting that old school entrance, Goldberg walking down the hallway, going out mainly with the well, I forgot what it was called, the face, everyone that is a face cheering on Goldberg. Goldberg comes out, pyro, and cutting the greatest promo of his entire career.
Yeah, I would say so too. I wouldn't say his entire career, but it's definitely one of the greats.
Yeah, not only does that Brock Lesnar, not only does that mean that you're next, but most importantly, it means Brock Lesnar, you're last. Toss microphone. That's the end of it right there.
Yeah, and I was kind of worried of what they were gonna do with having Brock and Goldberg face one more time at Survivor Series, and they announced it.
Especially with it taking place in Canada, the home of Bret Hitman Harlan. Oh boy, they're gonna tear him apart. But thankfully, they did not do that.
Yeah, no,
Gold
they welcomed him.
back with open arms. Although I believe there were a few screw Bret chants somewhere.
That was stupid guys.
And then we got the most shocking, or say the second most shocking moment to occur in WWE history. Brock getting beat. He owned Lesnar, pretty much so.
Yeah, Brock didn't get one. He was about to get at least one offensive move, but it was not to be. And Goldberg pushed him down, spear, jackhammer,
1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar.
Like, I was literally I didn't expect them to go there with him and Brock, but you know what? I was glad they did, and I was excited. I was surprised, and in a great way. I was really happy that they went that
Brock
route.
Lesnar, the conqueror, the one who ended the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, who dominated John Cena at SummerSlam 2014 to become a 4-time world champion, then loses to 49-year-old Goldberg in a minute and 26 seconds. Sorry, Brock. It's
You know what? You gotta punish Brock somehow from that like avoiding that suspension.
At least he didn't stick the finger to Vince like at WrestleMania 20.
Oh no. Yeah. At least there was no boos from the crowd, like booing both Goldberg and Brock. So yeah, and then I mean, Survivor Series this year wasn't like amazing either, but you know what? The main event kind of made up for it.
Just kind of barely.
Yeah, barely, but it was it still wasn't good. Survivor Series still wasn't good.
Well, I'll count the 5-on-5 Raw and SmackDown match to at least be good in that sense. I'll at least count that.
It was decent. Wasn't amazing. It was like, again, there was really nothing on the line. It was only just bragging rights, which is like all WWE creative could just be like, oh, what's on the line, or what? Why should people care? Oh, it's bragging rights.
Yeah, that's not enough.
And even the other Survivor Series team matches were not even great. The tag team was not interesting. The women's one was not interesting. And you know what? Let's transition right into the women's. So we get Sasha and Charlotte. That whole rivalry beginning since the draft.
Sasha Banks versus Charlotte isn't just a rivalry. It has become the next great rivalry. Somewhat.
Not to be. It could have been, but not to be.
Unfortunately.
But so you have Sasha. So instead of giving the women's championship to Sasha at WrestleMania, you have it go on the first Raw of the draft. Which, okay, fine. It's you really should have done it at Mania, but I guess it's okay here.
Then we go
since it's a special occasion, since the first Raw of the draft.
Pretty much so. Then we go to SummerSlam. Sasha drops it back because back injury.
And it was like, oh my god, like she just won it 3 weeks, and you have to drop it back to Charlotte. But then on Raw,
she wins it back.
Then on Raw, Sasha wins the title back. And then it's like Hell in a Cell, women's championship match. And it's main eventing the show. And it's like, okay,
This better be good.
it's like, okay, this could either be really, really good
or really, really
or
bad.
it could stink up the entire joint. And
then it was the latter.
So they do. Yeah. So what ended up happening is like it kind of got off to a good start where Charlotte like attacks Sasha like right away before the cell even drops. It was just like, okay, this is new. This is okay. This is interesting now. Let's see where it goes from here. Then you have like I think she powerbombed Sasha onto one of the announce tables.
It didn't break, unfortunately, because
no, it did break.
Okay,
it did break
eventually because she was light.
Yeah, like I don't even know how it broke with her like being skinny as a toothpick.
Really?
Not as skinny as AJ Lee, but too skinny.
Someone got this. Oh boy.
So, anyways, I'm just calling it like I see it. So, anyways, then they do then they kind of recreate the whole Mick Foley like going on a stretcher and then last minute like goes off the stretcher and leaves. It's like, did you really need to do this? Like you kind of already did this with Ambrose and Rollins. You did this with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Like, okay, like come on, man, come on, enough is enough with
or
that.
Come on, women. But it's more creative's fault.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, creative. Like, come on, man. Come on. Did you really need to do it? Was that really necessary?
What else were they going to do? What, let them stay there for like a good 5 minutes?
Which then the match was going on and it was kind of botchy. Things weren't really going as well. They really botched a few moves. I was kind of like, oh, this is cringy. Oh, yeah, all right.
It was just pretty much sloppy.
Yeah, I was like, all right, yeah, I know this is getting bad now. And when it was getting okay, like towards the ending, you have Charlotte win again. Oh my god! I was like, are you kidding me?
Three time. I
was like, you had one. I gave you one more chance. I gave you one more chance to get it right and have Sasha win it, and you couldn't even do it. You couldn't even help yourself to have Charlotte win it again for a third time.
Charlotte pay-per-view undefeated streak. Almost like The Undertaker. Oh, no. Please don't.
So then, of course, and I think on a November Raw, Sasha wins it again in a Falls Count Anywhere, and I'm like, well, I don't need to watch it. I don't need to watch this anymore. Like, I don't care about this anymore because I know where it's headed. I know where this is headed. So
then come Roadblock,
which I didn't even watch Roadblock, to be honest.
In a 30-minute Iron Man match. Well, before we even get to the finish, you know that when it was, I believe, 2-1 between Sasha and Charlotte. 2 seconds left. Sasha Banks taps out.
Oh my!
Come on! Didn't you see that?
I didn't even bother watching it because I knew where this was headed. like you had to have been stupid to know. Like if you've been following this whole rivalry, you should have known where this is headed. And of course, Charlotte, won it a fourth time. Like in 1 year, she becomes a 4-time women's champion. That is ridiculous, and it just further proves that, like, because of course Triple H is best buds with Ric Flair. Charlotte is always going to have the backing. She's always going to be protected, and she's gonna be like pushed to the freaking moon.
Well, 3 more. Well, I guess if WWE continues at this rate, we'll only need only 3 more years left. 3 more years till Charlotte becomes a 16-time women's champion, which will be dumb by the time we get to there.
Yeah. So then, lastly, back to AJ Styles. So,
well, what else do we have to say? We already did the comparison.
Well, yeah, kind of, but at least I want to get some stuff out of the way, like about his WWE title reign. So he ends up winning the WWE title from Dean Ambrose, which I'm like, okay, like
after a low blow.
Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't.
It's heel Styles.
Yeah,
just roll with it.
Yeah, I was okay with it, and the match itself wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Styles finally winning, I thought it was the right time. It was like, okay, great. Now we got something. And then the whole James Ellsworth thing. They continued the rivalry till TLC, and that's when I kind of was like,
You're
like,
making Styles look like a fool here.
like of course you're gonna kind of drop the ball here with Styles. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just stupid. The whole thing where you have Ellsworth win 3 times with Ambrose's help, and it was just it was just so dumb. And now you have Ellsworth like being with Carmella for some reason. I don't know what.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I remember that. Now I remember.
Yeah, now Ellsworth is in some angle with Carmella. Like I have no idea where that's going. And I don't even know if I'm curious to even see where that's going.
And at this point, I guess it's 8 Ellsworth's 15 minutes of fame has finally come to a close.
Yeah.
But like, going on to SmackDown with this a small bit, like, what are your thoughts on Ambrose and the Miz rivalry? Since that's actually looking to be a bit interesting, just especially how it all kicked off.
Oh, well, with Miz,
Miz versus Miz and Ambrose rivalry.
Well, like when you talk about that, like how it started off, like with what Miz said to Renee.
Yes, yeah.
It was unexpected. It was definitely unexpected. I was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh man!" Like,
yeah, figuring out with the crowd, like, ooh. Then smacks the Miz, like, yeah. What do you expect when you say that to a woman?
I mean, it's interesting. I'm interested to see where this is going. I mean, I don't think Ambrose really needs to be in this rivalry, but
hey, give him something to do because we don't need to see another Ambrose versus Styles match because we're gonna instead get Cena versus Styles at the Rumble.
Yeah. So just to kind of like go forward here a bit, like, because we kind of already touched on a lot of WWE from 2016, kind of the big stuff and kind of what we want to discuss.
So let's move on to the rest of 2016 that we actually find.
Yeah, but first, since we kind of talked about SmackDown a little bit, might as well wrap it up with that. Just kind of the big stuff. John Cena returned, and he announced that he's going to be facing
whoever won
the WWE title on that SmackDown, the Triple Threat, which in the end was AJ Styles, which I knew, like, it's pretty obvious. There was no way Dolph Ziggler was getting that WWE World title. Hell no.
Of course.
And Baron Corbin, he ain't ready for that spot.
Although he's big and powerful, but
that match did prove it. But I understand like why they put Baron in that spot is, to kind of like test him out and be like, you know what, maybe this guy, let's see what this guy could do. Maybe, it was kind of a test run for them to be like, you know what, let's see if this guy could like hold a main event.
And so far,
maybe he could be a future world champion.
And so far, it was actually quite promising.
Yeah, he actually wasn't that bad.
Although he dominated like the first 5 or 10 minutes,
he was great in this. I think he's a future world champion for sure.
So Baron Corbin versus Cena, and Baron Corbin gets buried.
Well, that may be inevitable.
Well, after WrestleMania.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what they do with Corbin, like now, until then. But anyways, yeah. Then after all that, Cena announced that it's him and Styles at Royal Rumble. He said it's not the new era, it's my time era. I'm done with this new era BS. And and now I'm here to take back what's mine. And honestly, I think this is the right time for Cena to take it.
Pretty much so, yeah. Cena's gonna win some.
As much as I hate to say, like, Cena's got to win his 16th title here. I think this is the right time to do it.
And then the end of no.
Because to be honest, like, it's not like there's really like Styles doesn't really gain anything from beating Cena here, because like he's not being buried if Cena wins here, because like
Styles already got 2 wins over him.
Styles beat him all throughout this year. Cena
the second half of this year.
Yeah, like Styles been beating him like more times than Cena beat him.
So it's not going to hurt him none whatsoever. Although there's going to be a rematch.
Yeah, no, and
at Fastlane.
Yeah, and eventually, hopefully, it'll be Undertaker facing Cena for the WWE title at
Unless the
WrestleMania.
Undertaker wins. And if that happens, Taker versus Cena, WWE World Championship, I'm going to get pretty nervous because, okay, what if Cena does retain? Or what if Taker wins? Well, I don't know.
See, that's why it'll be a great main event because it's like, wow, I don't know who's gonna win this.
But more or less, Taker's going to come out the win because you think WWE's going to have Lesnar break the streak only to have Taker lose a second time because it's Cena.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there.
Plus, if Cena does win, that'll make the streak being broken look stupid because, oh, Brock can do it, well, so can Cena. Yeah, we didn't need that.
But we'll just see where it goes.